ANC commissioners and civic association leaders and private citizens citywide that are working feverishly now to get in front of this new iGaming law. A little background, as the chairman pointed out, there actually was not any legislation per se for this law. Rather, this was this law was passed as part of the supplemental budget in 2010, which is now 2012, so it was a couple years ago when they were passing the budget. And it wasn't a part of the big budget, it was a supplemental budget, which means it was part of a budget supplement which was about maybe 10 or 15 pages long. And it passed unanimously before the council, and it pretty much gave the District of Columbia the right to provide online gaming within city boundaries. That law, like all laws, went before the congressional review process in April of 2011, and it passed the congressional review process. It passed Congress. So, as of April 2011, it was legal to have online gaming in the district. Now, it has not yet been implemented, but it is legal in the district, and now it is also legal in Nevada. Nevada passed their law just last month. Interesting bit of information. In the same month that the federal government okayed our budget, giving us the right to have online gaming, they also put the brakes on all online gambling activities going on nationwide. You see, online gambling or internet gaming has been available in the United States since 1997. So you could go online and gamble with no limits or any type of restrictions whatsoever via offshore sites like PokerStars, or Absolute Poker, or Full Tilt, or any of another of online gambling sites. So it was available, and it was through the Unlawful Internet Gambling Act of 2006 that the federal government shut down those sites. So they put the brakes on all of them. And that was the same month that they okayed our law to allow it within our boundaries. Later on that summer, the federal government, or rather Congress, introduced H.R. 2366. I'll give you one guess on what that bill encompassed or contained. It is a bill that is currently working its way through the House, so it's on the floor of the House, that legalizes online gaming nationwide under federal guidelines. It has wide bipartisan support. The sponsor of the bill was Republican Joe Barton from the state of Texas, and the co-sponsor was a Democrat from Massachusetts by the name of Barney Frank. So this is a bill with wide bipartisan support. I'm giving you all this background because I'm trying to paint a picture here. In September of this year, the Department of Justice gave a ruling on the 1961 Wire Act, which prohibits interstate gaming over phone lines. And it was actually the state of New York and the state of Illinois that requested a Department of Justice ruling regarding this. And the Department of Justice deemed that it is not, online gaming would not violate the terms of that act, that the 1961 Wire Act applies only to sports wagers and sports wagering. Now, they released their findings of this in December of last year, December 24th, to be specific. And ever since that ruling was released, it has been a fire sale, a gold rush of states rushing to pass legislation to implement their own online gaming laws, because every state that has a lottery is interested in having their lottery tickets and games accessible online. And of course, you know, why not offer the other games, because that'll make you more money too. So California, New York, Illinois are all looking at legislation. New Jersey already has legislation that they're pushing through their state assembly. And as of course I told you, Nevada already passed this bill. So within the next 10 years, experts predict that every state in the union that has a lottery will have online gaming, including Maryland and Virginia. The issue that we're looking at now in the District of Columbia, given all the history of the broad brush that I just was trying to point out, is that given the fact that we are looking at every state in the union with a lottery implementing some type of online gaming system within the next 10 years, in Maryland likely, I think they were saying probably within the next 2 to 3 years, pretty much eliminates any chances of the city council overturning the online gaming law. The chances of that happening are slim to none at this stage. And what my group is actually interested in is just trying to get in front of the revenue stream. You see, when the law was implemented, when the actual budget supplement went through, all of the revenues from online gaming are set to go into the general fund. And that's total control by the city council. They're going to do with it and work with it as they see fit. Me and some other ANC commissioners didn't think that, in light of the recent circumstances, that maybe that's not the best idea with the new revenue stream that may draw, well, the industry estimates of the revenues for online gaming in the district were coming in at anywhere from $10 to $15 million on the low side to $30 million on the high side, and that's annually. Now that there is this big gold rush, and the Department of Justice has further clarified that online gaming is not illegal and does not violate the 1961 Wire Act as long as it's interstate, that also opens another door. You see, if the district implements now and puts together a good program, a solid vehicle, and works out all the kinks, then they can enter into a state compact with Maryland and Virginia to allow their residents to use our site. So that's extra revenue on top of the revenue that was already projected by industry analysts. Like I said, my group is just trying to get in front of this. We're not concerned about how it was passed or any of the ethics or the morals involved. We are looking at the facts. We're dealing with brass tacks here. This is a law. The chances of it being overturned at this point are slim to none, and Slim just caught the last bus out of town. This is not something that the council is going to overturn and let Maryland and Virginia come in and take revenues out of DC. That's not going to happen. What we're trying to do, or what we're doing rather, is we're going around the city presenting before ANCs like 2C in an effort to get them to pass resolutions stipulating that a majority of the revenues generated by this online gaming law go to programs that will specifically benefit district residents. In the resolution that you had before you, and the resolution that we've generally been passing around, and each ANC may tweak it a little bit to, you know, work to rather address some of the issues and concerns in their particular ANCs. But our resolution specifically outlines modernization of education facilities, money towards social programs so we can stop shutting down homeless shelters, money to help feed the homeless, better nutrition programs for those in need, repairing the city's infrastructure, and job training programs. We felt that those 4 issues were the most important and critical facing city residents at this time. And the idea is to gain a critical mass of resolutions from ANCs around the city to present resolutions to the city council, and in that effort get the council to implement, or rather introduce legislation and implement a law stipulating that the majority of those funds will go to said terms mentioned in that resolution. And as I'm sure all of you know, by law, the council has to give ANCs and any resolutions that they pass as a full ANC great weight. So we can gain a critical, we're seeking, we're seeking to gain a critical mass of ANCs in an effort to try to make this law a reality. Because the reality is, now that the Department of Justice has come through with this, I would say it's a masterstroke, because it looks like everything was planned from day one on how the feds pulled this together. Now that this is a reality, we want to make sure that district residents are going to benefit. And we are looking at some serious revenues that are going to be coming through the coffers of the District of Columbia as soon as this law is implemented. And it's only a matter of time before the rest of the states jump on. Like I said, every state with a lottery eventually will have online gaming. They're saying within the next 10 years. So we want to make sure that district residents can benefit from this potential revenue windfall. And one other side note, just in terms of what I thought to be the Machiavellian style thinking of the federal government in this regard, when they shut down those online gaming sites in April of last year, they didn't cite the Wire Act in any of their legal proceedings. They use, as I mentioned, the Unlawful Online Gambling Act of 2006. So those sites that were in existence providing online gaming before will not be invited to this party. This is strictly for the states, and for the states to generate revenue, because the country is in dire need of revenue, and that was $1 billion industry that the feds and the states were not able to tax. So guess what? Now it's coming back, and they're going to get tax revenues. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm open for any questions or concerns that you might have.
Doris, I'm going to suggest that we hear from the folks that have concerns about iGaming, and then we'll